This here is the Focusrite 2i4 second generation. This is my audio interface of choice right now. I feel like bang for buck, you cannot beat it. If you are new here and watching the review of my Scarlett 2i4 second generation, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I've owned PreSonus and some M-Audio interfaces and they were great, but this one, just the latency alone sells it for me. That, along with the flexibility and the price, to me, there's nothing that can compare that I've used. Just looking at the front of it, you have your two inputs here, mic or XLR, gain knobs right there. You got your instrument and line switch, pad. You also have your MIDI light, so if you're sending a signal and you're playing a keyboard or something like that, that'll light up. You also get USB. You have your blend knob here, which is used for if you're either wanting to hear more of your direct input from your instrument or microphone, or if you want to hear more of what's happening in your DAW or your computer. Below that, you have your stereo or mono option for your input. So let's say you're tracking some guitars and you want to be able to hear your direct line in, but you don't want it to be your left, because channel 1 over here is left, channel 2 is right, is the way I have it set up in my DAW. So usually what I'll do is I'll kick over to mono, so that way I have my channel 1 going and being played back in both speakers. And of course here you have your monitor, your volume knob. Over here you have your headphone input, which is a 1/4 inch, along with your headphone volume knob. And then right next to that you have your source for your headphones, so either channel 1, 2, or channel 3, 4. If you switch around the back side, you see that you have your USB connection right there. You have your MIDI out, your MIDI in. Then you have your line outputs, your unbalanced line outputs, channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, which are just RCAs. And then of course right here you have your main 1/4 inch outs. And those are the ones I use to run my monitor, my playback. The Focusrite Scarlett 2i4 will record your audio at 24-bit up to 192K. It also has 48-volt phantom power built into it. The build quality in this thing is absolutely fantastic. All the knobs are solid. You know, when you twist them, you actually feel like you're twisting something. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel like they're gonna fall off. And one thing I really enjoy about the build quality is the metal housing that it comes in. It feels like you could drop this off a skyscraper and it would survive somehow. There's also little rubber footies on the bottom, so when you have it on your desk and you're reaching for knobs and twisting things in the heat of the moment when mixing and tracking, it's not gonna slide around on you, which I find absolutely super handy. Something I feel is incredibly underrated for an audio interface that sits on your workstation desk. The bang for buck for this thing, I just checked on Reverb and you can get one B stock for as low as approximately $120. And for me to get a quality interface for 120 bucks, that is hard to beat. I know there's higher levels of audio interfaces, but if you're just tracking at home, want something that's reliable and dependable, 120 bucks, you cannot beat that. And maybe one of my favorite things about the Scarlett 2i4 is the latency you work with. My previous interfaces, I've had latency on my DAW, which I use Cubase Pro. I've had latency as high as 50, 40, 30 milliseconds. Which, you know, if you're not tracking much, you don't really know what that sounds like. For me, it's impossible to track with it in real time because there's just that delay there. With the Scarlett, I can get that down to 3 or 4 milliseconds, and that is to a point where you cannot really tell, and if you can, it's not enough to throw you off when you're tracking. So that to me is the big win with the Scarlett 2i4 second generation, is the latency is basically non-existent. What is your favorite audio interface? Again, this is my favorite one I've ever used, especially bang for buck, 140 bucks. I think I paid 140 for mine, but absolutely fantastic. Comment below, what is your favorite audio interface? Do you think this is trash? Do you think it's awesome? Are you a Focusrite fanboy or girl? Let me know what you think. Please like the video, and until next time, peace out.